Fitzwater 10th District, I bring before you Senate Concurrent Resolution number 30. This is just a recognition of the beautiful relationship between Missouri, the United States, and Ireland. I was in Dublin in August, and it was a celebration with hundreds of other legislators from around the country of the American and Irish relationship revolving around the Good Friday Agreement, which was this agreement that brought peace to Ireland after years of revolution, as Ireland wanted to be an independent state and the UK wasn't, Great Britain wasn't willing to give away Ireland. And so there was killing and division and revolution just 25 years ago. This is happening in the 90s. I mean, not that long ago. And America was very involved in that peace agreement that brought independence to the island of Ireland. And our relationship with Ireland goes way back. Immigrants from Ireland have been pouring into our country for generations. They've contributed to society, the way we run our government, our systems. And so this is just a recognition of that, and I'm proud to carry it and glad to answer any questions.
Senator May, do you have any questions?
No.
I don't either. Thank you for presenting that.
Glad to do it.
So do we have anyone here today in support? Anyone in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? If not, thank you. And we will hear from Senator Arthur. SCR27.
Thank you so much. You can tell how excited I am, right? It's my pleasure to introduce Senate Concurrent Resolution 27, which establishes February 24th of each year as SCN2A Awareness Day in Missouri. SCN2A is a sodium ion channel gene located on the second chromosome, and these channels play a key role in a cell's ability to generate and transmit electrical signals. A deletion or mutation of this gene has been identified as a connection to autism, epilepsy, and other neurological issues like movement disorders, dystonia, and dysautonomia, to name just a few. By creating this day, we hope to raise awareness of this devastating disorder, which affects approximately 1 in 9,000 people, many of whom will live a life completely dependent on others for care and safety. We hope to continue these efforts to capture the attention of the scientific community and pharmaceutical companies to urge them to continue researching, developing, and investing in new life-saving and life-changing or life-improving treatments. We also hope to increase awareness with the public and healthcare providers to ensure that families receive all of the community support and best possible medical treatment. One of my amazing constituents, Eliana, suffers from this rare genetic disease, and through her and her mother's efforts with families, SCN2A, they brought this issue to my attention, and are doing it across the country as well. So thank you to Eliana and her mother for their tireless efforts, and thank you all for your time today.
Thank you, Senator. Any questions? All right. Anyone here to testify in support? Anyone in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? Hearing none. Thank you, Senator. Senator Trent. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Curtis Trent, representing District 20. This is Senate Bill 1310, a bill which would create a process for the appointment of the commissioners should a convention be called under Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution. As if everyone will recall, Missouri is a signatory state to an Article 5 convention, and so rather than trying to create a process by which to appoint commissioners to such a event at the time that the event occurs. I believe it would be better for us to create such controlling legislation now. So what this bill would do is basically vest in a joint legislative committee the responsibility to recruit and appoint the commissioners. The joint legislative committee also would have the authority to submit instructions governing the duty of the commissioners at the convention to the General Assembly for its approval. The goal here is to make sure that this body, the General Assembly, retains control over what our delegates to a national convention might do to prevent any kinds of concerns of a runaway convention. It also has the ability in here to void the acts of commissioners if they exceed the authority that's been given to them by the General Assembly. It gives the General Assembly the ability to recall such commissioners and generally to give them instructions on how they conduct themselves and what issues they are empowered to consider at the convention, which would mirror the call of the convention that the General Assembly has already signed on to. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the committee might have.
All right, we'll pause for a second. Brogan, could you take the roll?
Senator O'Loughlin,
Here.
Rowden, here. Brown 16, Eigel, Lutemeyer, here. May, here. And Williams. We do have a quorum.
And we do have a quorum. So does anyone on the committee have a question for Senator Trent? Seeing none. Do we have anyone here to testify in favor?
Good afternoon, Senator O'Loughlin, members of the committee. My name is Brett Sturley. I'm a resident of the 30th Senate District, an unpaid volunteer for Convention of States Action, serving as state director for the state of Missouri. Convention of States Action is a 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan national political organization with supporters and volunteers in every state legislative district in the country. I'm representing our 66,903 grassroots supporters in Missouri, testifying in support of Senate Bill 1310. Incidentally, 11,192 of those petition signers are members of our constituents of this committee. Rather than rehash what Senator Trent's already said, I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of how this process would work. At the time, whenever a Convention of States meeting is called under Article 5, which requires 34 states at a minimum to agree to the purpose of calling that Convention of States meeting, the legislature would then select commissioners. The way that would work is that President Pro Tem of the Senate would select 5 members of that body of the Senate, 3 members of the majority party, 2 members of the minority party. The Speaker of the House would do the same thing on the House side. That 10-person search committee would then identify 3 possible commissioner candidates and 3 possible alternates from each federal congressional district in Missouri. At the point in time, this time there are 8 congressional districts. Then that selection of possible commissioners and alternates would then go to the General Assembly, to where they would be voted on by concurrent resolution in both chambers to select 1 commissioner and 1 alternate from each federal congressional district in the state of Missouri at the time, whenever that Convention of States meeting is called, and that would represent Missouri's delegation. There would be some specific instructions that would be given to them, that not limited to, but including that they only have the authority to vote on a 1 state, 1 vote basis, which is the precedent for the over 40 interstate conventions that have been conducted since 1789. It would take a majority of the commissioners that are in the Missouri delegation to constitute a quorum. It would also take a majority vote for those commissioners to constitute Missouri's 1 vote that they get on each issue in the Convention of States meeting. They would also have the ability, the Joint Legislative Committee would have the ability to recall commissioners if they act outside of the bounds of their commissions, their instructions, or the resolution, the subject matter resolution that called the Convention of States meeting to begin with. So the whole entire process would be under the jurisdiction of the state legislature. And that's kind of a nice overview there, so I'm available for any questions.
All right, thank you for that. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else here in support? Anyone in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? Seeing none, thank you, Senator. I'm going to go do this. Good afternoon. I would like to present to the committee Senate Concurrent Resolution 21. This establishes every fourth Wednesday of February as Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Awareness Day in Missouri. Hypertrophic Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, otherwise known as HCM, which is a little bit easier, is a critical public health issue affecting up to 1 in every 200 individuals across various demographics. This hereditary heart condition is characterized by thickening of the heart muscle, leading to severe complications such as heart failure, atrial fibrillation, stroke, and even sudden cardiac death in rare instances. Despite its prevalence and serious health implications, HCM remains largely underdiagnosed, with an estimated 85% of those affected unaware of their condition. This lack of diagnosis is primarily due to the overlap of symptoms with other cardiovascular and pulmonary diseases, making it challenging to identify without specific screening and tests. This proposal would designate the fourth Wednesday in February each year as the Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Awareness Day in Missouri. Awareness is the cornerstone of early detection, effective management, and treatment of HCM. By setting aside a day to shine a light on this condition, Missouri has the opportunity to lead by example in educating its residents about the signs and symptoms of HCM, the importance of genetic screening, and the availability of treatment options. This initiative can help bring awareness in the current gaps in diagnosis and treatment, lowering the all-cause mortality rate associated with the condition.
Thank you, Senator. Questions for this resolution sponsor? Seeing none. Any to testify in support of SCR21? And you can only testify in support if you say the entirety of the name of the bill. I'm joking.
You're fine. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Brent Hempel. I'm here on behalf on Bristol Myers Squibb. Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Awareness Day, so I hope that's sufficient. HCM is an undertaking that BMS has really taken on a national-wide basis. They've passed it in 19 states. We want to compliment the senator for bringing this forward. The governor last week issued a certificate, not a proclamation, but a certificate that does something similar, but we would obviously like to see the SCR move forward to essentially make it in statute in support of this day.
Thank you for your testimony and questions for this witness. Seeing none, thank you for being here today. Further in support of SCR21. Further in support.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Deanna Hemphill on behalf of Missouri State Medical Association. This is good stuff, and we just want to lend our support.
Thank you. Questions for this witness? Seeing none. Any further in support of SCR21? Further in support. Seeing none. Any in opposition to SCR21? Seeing none. Any for informational purposes only? Seeing none. That'll conclude the hearing on SCR21.
I make a motion that we move into executive session. Can I get a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those to the contrary? The ayes have it. We are now in executive session. I now make a motion that we bring SCR22 before the committee. Can I get a second? Second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Those to the contrary, say no. Aye. Yes, I say aye. Okay. Okay, this is now before the committee. I'll explain to you what it is. This is Senator Carter's bill, which would add health and life sciences and immersive learning experiences to the mission of Missouri Southern State University. When this was heard earlier this month, we heard testimony in support from the president of the university, Dean Van Galen. I now make a motion that we vote do pass SCR22. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing that there is no further discussion, Brogan, please call the roll.
Senators O'Laughlin,
Aye.
Rowden, Brown 16, Eigel, Luptemeyer, May, and Williams.
By a vote of 5-0, you have voted do pass SCR22. I make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Those to the contrary say no. The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you. What? Well, we skipped over that.